Good morning and welcome back to the garden. Now, before we plant the garlic, somebody asked me how the grapes were doing. Well, we'll show you. There they are. There's not so many bunches up there, and they're not awfully big, but I didn't thin them. So that's perhaps why they're a bit on the small side. But we've got a few, so hopefully over the next year or so that'll double or triple, and then we will have to thin the bunches down a little. The black grape that we replaced has got no fruit on it. What fruit was coming, we pulled off. We don't want no fruit on it this year. Maybe have a little bit next year and see how it performs. Now we've popped in the shed just to show you opening the garden. I'd rather do it in here than down the garden, so dropping them all over. Now the garlic we got is Germidor. This is one of our favourite garlics. It really does come nice and pink, and it gets quite big on this land. The ones that we've already bought and put in are not Germidor, but we couldn't find Germidor then, and then Diane got these online. So we have got some to add to what we've got. Let's have a look at them then. You can see the pink on them. And it's best not to squeeze them to feel if they're soft or anything, that you shouldn't plant them, but try to avoid it. And we'll get these out, we'll put them in this bowl and then take them and plant them. You just have to keep twisting the top, and then it gives, and then you can get the cloves out then. These are quite good actually. Just run your nail down it to start them off. There we go, look. That's what we're, oh dear, that's what we're after. Some people take the skins off them, some don't. I always like the onions. If they've got a long top on them, I take that off. But that's what we're aiming for, not. So I'll get these done and show you what we got. Now there's the Germidor garlic cloves that we're going to plant. Now I got Diane to give me a hand, and look what she's done. She's broke a couple. Now these will go rotten, etc. So we'll put those to one side and we'll just plant those. I think I'll be doing the garlic from now on. Bless her. Let's go into the fruit cage and get these put in. It's a lovely sunny morning. This is where we put the garlic this year. We put them inside the fruit cage because remember the problems we've had down the bottom with the floods, and then but the results of what happened down the bottom we'll talk about later. But to avoid happening what happened this year, we're going to put them in here. Now I have put 5 rows in of the other variety already. Diane will have to put the name of the other variety on because I've forgotten it. It wasn't one we had before, but it was, we had to get some in because we couldn't find the Germidor. But we've got these now, so we'll put these in as well, and then we can always compare the two. But I think the Germidor will do better. As you can see, I've got 3 little holes made already. I'm putting them at a good distance apart, so there's plenty of room around them. And in the spring I can just bring the small hoe and keep the area clean of weeds. But we'll get these in. It's only a case, whoops, hang on. There's my little bowl. If we get 3, I'll just show you. There they go. You can take this off if you want. Some do, some don't, but And that flat bottom there is what goes down, because that's where the roots will come out. About 4 inches. The thing with garlic, if you put it in the ground too shallow or too deep, you'll find that when they come through the surface, they will actually adjust themselves underground. As long as you're not asking too much, don't throw them on the top and expect them to dig in, but within a small distance they will adjust themselves. A bit like daffodils. Daffodils do that as well. So here we go, look. There's 3 in. They'll be up in no time. I'll just borrow that so I know where they are for when we put the next row. And just fill up. Nothing special for garlic. No feed. We don't want feeding this year. The garlic needs to have a good winter on it to make a good bulb for next year. Now you don't feed it now, but when it comes up through the winter and in the spring it starts to grow again, we just give it a general purpose fertilizer. It just helps swell those bulbs up so we get lots of big cloves. Right, let's finish this row. So we got to there. I'm putting it more or less the length of the trowel or thereabouts, look. Very good soil up here. We'll do 2 and then 1 at the end, I think. There we go. 3, 4, 5, and I'll just pop the other one in before we 6. Yeah. That's a good one, look. Be careful with him. 1. And then the next row will be there. Just cover them up, pack it down a bit, and just tidy. Like the rest of the country, we had a lot of rain yesterday, so luckily we were able to work getting these in off the path. If we had to go on the garden, my goodness me, there'd be more. We'll bang our head on there now. We just put them in at 1, 2, 3. I want to go that way a bit. 3, 4, 5. We won't get 6 in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go 1 here because I'm trying to get them in 6s if I can. These are the gooseberry bushes, 1 green, 1 red. Now over the winter I'm actually going to move those from there to the bottom of the garden where we had all that trouble, but we'll discuss that later. There you are then, we'll have those. They're very good cloves, look at that. Now these will be quite safe up here because this doesn't flood, we're too far up the bank. I have 4 left that I want to plant, but I'm going to move some of this from this side because they were just put in to get a bit of colour up here. So they'll probably come out in a day or so. We'll use them as cut flowers, etc. And then this can be a row here. Now, I know there's garlic in here, and it is wet. I know there's garlic in here, so I'm not going to put labels on. We know what they are. And they'll be up in no time anyway, we'll see them then. We'll pop those 4 in later when I've made some room here. But as you can see, there'll be some room very soon. Do you remember when we put this late crop of peas in? Well, they're filling up nicely now, especially after all the rain. Last night they're really pod up. We'll take those out, and that's where those will go. Side of the path, we don't want too far in. Now, while we're in the fruit cage, we've got all these raspberries to cut down and put through the machine. We've been trying to pick them, but because of the damp air in the mornings, we've had some quite misty, horrible, foggy mornings. Most of them are covered in mildew now, and we don't spray the raspberries. So that's a job we'll do next week with you. We'll take the raspberry canes out, we'll put them through the machine, put them on compost heap, and that will be then finished and ready for next year's summer crop. The crop behind Diane, if she shows you, you can remember we tied these in. These are the early crops. Now there's still 1 or 2 little bits that will want tying in. So as I go round, see that will want tying in, it will just be blowing around. We'll tie them in, leave them for the winter, and then, as you remember, we'll just take all the tops off and it'll all break at the bottom. Next week we'll do these late raspberries. It's a shame we lost them, but they're just, we can't control the early morning fog. We've had a huge amount of raspberries off and big raspberries as well. So well done raspberries, you've done us a good crop, but I can't fight the weather with you. The other thing I'll do this winter, I'm going to move 1 or 2 of these red currants. We're getting a bit too overloaded here, and I want to put 2 or 3 more blueberries in. They seem to do well in here, so we'll try those. The blackberries, they've done rather well. They're still cropping actually, we'll show you in a moment. So they're doing well. We had an early crop which we picked, did very well, put those in the freezer, and suddenly we've got an autumn crop coming now, so there might be a few more. But likewise with the raspberries, the early morning mists, etc., and foggy mornings will send them mildew, and they don't spray in here, so we'll perhaps lose those, but we'll get what we can. These are the blackberries. As you can see, there's good blackberries on there, of good size, but look, can you see where this horrible weather is taking its toll on the fruit now? But there's a few to pick. We'll have to go round every now and again and just pick some, because there's nothing wrong with those, right? And they tend to be only in this area now. Likewise with the raspberries, when we cut those down, we'll also cut all this old growth off and tie in this, which is the new growth. This will be next year's crop. Tie those on to these wires when we've moved all this. It'll all go through the shredder and straight onto the compost heap, and any berries that fall on the floor, we might just let the chickens in and they can clean that up. These will be given to the chickens as well as I go past. We can't do any more down the garden. Can you hear that bird singing? Bless it. We can't, it's shut up now, I've said that. It's a sparrow, I think. We can't do any more down the garden, it's far too wet down there. But before the rain, who's talking, me or you? Before the rain, we picked a lot of the tomatoes. There's still a lot of green and semi-ripe tomatoes down there, but it's getting to the time of year when if you haven't got them, we will have to clear them because they'll just go on. And the peppers now are coming thick and fast, so we need to harvest some, else there'll be just too many on the plants and over they'll go. So we'll take some and we'll show you what. They're very ready, so we'll have to take some. These are the peppers we've harvested. As you can see, quite a few. And looking at what's left, we've still got at least the same amount to come yet. Very nice, there's some lovely colours there. I've just been down and harvested the Victoria plums. As you can see, there's quite a few plums there. There was a few that the wasps had got in, but not so many, so it weren't too bad a harvest. Look how nice the autumn leaves are coming on the blueberries. They're all going to turn red now, and it's always a lovely sight. But we need also to do a little bit of pruning, probably in the middle of winter. Those old canes need to come out and get some new canes up. I actually bought 2 more blueberries. I forget the name, I'm not very good with names. I forget the name, but we'll let you know the name when we plant them. But they was quite good, sizable blueberries, so I want to plant those on the extension of this, so I'll have to get some ericaceous compost, etc., and build that up. We've got 4 red currants in here, so I'm going to take at least one of those to the bottom to make the room for the blueberries. I can always put a net over the red currants down there to keep the birds off, like we do with the black currants. So that'll be it for this week. We can't do a lot more because of the rain, which I'm actually stood here on the garden and I'm gradually sinking. But yeah. So that's it for this week. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week and we'll get some of this work done in this fruit cage. Okay, bye now.